Shadow House is conceived literally as well as metaphysically a shadow beyond the existing cottage. It is a project that has come from an interesting and close relationship with an old friend. So it's a very special project for me. I was able to apply all my skills that I've accumulated over the years, and the ability to have a client and a friend to be able to give you that space and that trust to explore your ideas, and then for them to execute it to the extent that they did is phenomenal.
What we wanted from the beginning was actually something that was a small project. We wanted to take something on potentially as an owner builder to get our hands dirty for about 12 months and just improve something radically within a short space of time. I went to school with Craig and reconnected with Craig over a shared love of design and urban design and architecture. And we said, Craig, go and have a look at this house, see what you think. I've got some ideas, but would love to know if you're actually interested in taking this on. So we ended up striking lucky with Craig. He was really keen to take the project on. And so we essentially just talked to him about what we thought we wanted and some of those key elements and it was just a collaborative process of saying to Craig, you tell us what you think, what do you envisage this could look like? Let's do something that's achievable, but let's get a little bit bold with it. We just want to turn it into something that is exemplary of a modern, a contemporary, a sustainable, beautiful home that will hopefully last another century.
The existing condition they had was this rundown, very wobbly cottage, not heritage listed, so any other person with any lesser of a vision would have bulldozed it and replaced it with something very probably average. So the task was to create something special enough that would give another 100 years to what already was a 100-year-old house. What was considered from the beginning were a few specific details from Tanya and Pete. The program of a new open living space, as well as a separate guest suite studio space, which could be run as such and also as an Airbnb, and then also a big laundry and a new bathroom, as well as reconfiguring within the existing cottage a master bedroom and ensuite. So essentially, it's conceived as a shadow in black. Shasugi barn is something that absorbs a lot of light. To have that and then have an existing white cottage is able to kind of disappear, as well as disappear behind the jacarandas. So very much keeping the heritage presence on the street to kind of maintain the history of the area.
The fact that we've been able to seamlessly blend old and new is something that everyone loves, but I think this project and this home is exemplary of that. I love that the house has soul. I feel like it's something that cannot be replicated. It's been built with so much love and so much heart, and this collaborative nature in which we went about doing that is felt within it. I think something that strikes a lot of people is just what we've been able to achieve within a relatively small footprint, as well as the natural light and the view of nature and that kind of touch point with greenery in every space. The way that you walk through the hallway down to this space and you just kind of look up and people think, wow, there is something so special in here.
If we were to walk through the house from the street, obviously it's this shadow behind. And then as you approach, you walk through this native garden, a bit of a winding path up to the original veranda. You step in and the central corridor was a key access point from the line of the old to the new, was considered as like a service corridor, which then was able to kind of hide within the thickness between the old and the new, the bathroom and the laundry. There's just this deep warmth that in the bathroom that I wanted to create, which was a combination of natural materials, paints, and keeping the original weatherboard of the existing house, so a bit of texture. From there, I suppose you kind of walk into the main living space, which is open plan, but each room is highly considered in its function. So it's not just a large, flexible space, it's very intentional with a built-in sofa, a bay window that skews out to kind of embrace the garden, and the central dining, which is kind of the centerpiece as like a point of coming together. And then the kitchen has this central block of the island bench, which is as if, you know, the concrete was coming up and grounding the space, which is to kind of also function as a little table with the bay window. And then the bay window set within a thickness of the back wall is to a place to experience the back garden as well as the jacarandas. The separation between the main house and the guest suite is made by a buffer of the atrium. And then materially, conceptually, the charred kind of exterior then becomes uncharred. It's raw within that atrium, which just draws in a lot more warm light. And then it's the guest suite, which is its own separate courtyard, and obviously that very different, darker, more silent focused space.
People are so mesmerised by the studio, and it's surprising. It's quite secretive in the way that it's been designed, its placement there. You don't realise it's there, but it feels like its own little private space, and it is, but it's just been so cleverly placed and designed where it is, as well as that kind of dark, moody nature of it. You feel quiet and calm in that space, and it having its own little garden that kind of was designed around an existing native tree that was in the corner, lonely, surrounded by bricks. We've managed to kind of strip all that away and build a garden space around that tree and celebrate it, rather than just kind of chuck it in the corner and not really respect its position there.
As a first project, I've been very fortunate to be able to work with an old friend, have the trust, have such an old home with character, and a site with such beautiful trees, and a client with so much dedication and capability to pull off something to such detail as an owner-builder. It's very lucky.